Hey, it's Randy T-Bird out here in Arizona, early Sunday morning. Nice cool air this morning. Finally back out on the bike. Last week I went out and rode the new dirt bike and had a good time doing that, but I did not get on the bike Sunday, so other than some Saturday. Anyway, so I'm out for a ride this morning and again enjoying the cool air, and not going to be much left of that this year. It is the 8th of May, Mother's Day. Take care of your moms, call your mom, visit your mom if you can. My mom is 91 years old and doing pretty good, and a shout out to Mom. Love you, Mom. She lives in Tucson, Arizona, and so pretty soon I'm going to be able to get down to visit her. In the meantime, just enjoying the cool air. I got out yesterday to the dealer. The guy that I work with over there gave me a call and let me know the Pan America was in, if I wanted to come see it. And so I stopped in and checked that out. And while I did not ride it, they did not have a demo set up. I got to walk around their for sale model and take a look at it. The first thing that strikes me on it is that it's a lot larger than it looks in pictures. It's a large motorcycle, there's no getting around that. Not large in the scale, say, of a Road Glide Ultra or something, but it's a large motorcycle. The motor is physically large. It's got a lot of nice tech on it. It's a decent looking motorcycle. I'm still on the fence about the funky headlight setup on it. It's kind of growing on me, I guess, but I'm getting the feeling that the bike really would not be for me. And again, I'll probably take the opportunity to ride it if that comes up, but it's just not my style. I don't think, and I do like adventure bikes, but I can't quite put my finger on it. But I don't think it'd be something I'd buy. That being said, I hope people do buy it. I think it will trip the switch for some people and be a good thing. The seat height is quite high, and of course, with it not running there in front of us, so they weren't able to demonstrate the feature that lowers the seat at a stop, which is probably pretty handy. The seat seems to be wide. Narrows a little bit at the front, but it's not like the spidery thinness that my Street Bob has. So again, it's all, I imagine, in what you're used to. I hope it does sell, but it was interesting seeing it anyway. And I know my Motorrad Jim rode one and gave a really decent review. You should check out his YouTube and check out. He's a very tell it like it is kind of guy, and he's a BMW owner. So check out his video. It was a good one. He did get to go on the ride, and he put it through its paces. So that's a good thing to view. So. Anyhow, not much else going on, just still working too much and not having enough time off to do the things that I like, but that's life. Nice morning, traffic is light. Not sure where I'm going to go this morning. I only have about 3 or 4 hours to play with today. Feels really good to be back out on the bike. Bike is running great as always, and I think I'm finally getting her to fit me. And that happens with any bike you get, that you gotta adjust them to fit your own body. Some people have to make more room for the bars and the pegs, and some people have to you know, make less room. Well, that's me. I got to kind of adjust things back for my little stubby arms and legs. Come on, people. You ever notice when there's a cop on the side of the road, whether it's obstructing anything or there's an accident or anything, everybody's got to slow down. It's like the cop's going to stop what he's doing and give you a ticket for going 5 miles over the speed limit. Oh, there's another one, so that's everybody slow down. Not saying you shouldn't be cautious, I'm just saying don't be paranoid. They're not going to stop what you're doing and come get you. That is, unless you're doing 100 miles an hour down the freeway, that might change their mind. Beautiful sunny day, not a cloud in the sky. It's typical Arizona, late spring, early summer. It was 93 yesterday, hit 101 on Thursday. And it was a warm day, so we'll have to get used to that again. When it first starts getting the real hot temperatures in June, it always kicks my ass until I get acclimated to it. So, all right, work is air conditioned, and so it kind of spoils me. Got to have air conditioning out here in the desert. Anyway, just enjoying the day, actually. Gonna go and try to stop for gas here in a few minutes and then get back on the trail. Hey, it's Randy back. Got my gas and back on the highway. Just making my way out to the boondocks here, the out of town. Just passed a real nice Roush Mustang. I always thought if I won the lottery I'd get one of those. It's still a possibility. I like the what they do. A lot of hot rodders, they put a lot of money into motors and nothing into suspension or brakes or any of that stuff. And I like what Roush has done with the Mustangs. They got these giant brakes, looks like Brembo type calipers on them. Seeing them at the dealer makes me want to drive one, but can't really drive anything that I can't afford to buy. So, you know, that's just teasing. Always been into cars. I've been into Mustangs. I've had several actually over the years. My dad restored Mustangs back when he was with us, and always had a yard full of Mustangs. Actually, that's a Shelby. It's a GT 350. Really nice. That's got big old pie plate Brembo brakes on it too. I think I could live with that. Come on, lottery numbers. If I win the lottery today, by the end of the week there'll be one in my driveway. Kind of hazy this morning. It's a smog or whatever. It was a little windy yesterday, so there's probably a little bit of dust in the air from that. It's always a constant out here is dust. Dust. I guess in some places there's mud. Oh, I was kind of hoping he would give it a little stick there, but he didn't. It's an older gentleman driving it. Looking forward to a trip to Lake Tahoe. We're taking a family vacation out there in June and going to go. I've never been there. The only downside to it is I won't be riding because it's the whole family, load up the family truckster type situation and go there. But my car gets tremendous gas mileage, and yeah, it should be a relaxing trip. Gonna spend 4 or 5 days up there in that area just exploring around. I guess you go by Death Valley. I always wanted to see that. Now in June's probably not a great time to be there, but I'm just gonna be going by it. Check out some of some in Nevada and the Sierras there. Always wanted to see that, so I can cross that one off the bucket list. I would like to go to Death Valley in the winter. I'll probably have to go by myself, as my wife does not like desert. And but I wouldn't mind going there in the winter and just checking it out. I mean, I imagine the solitude is awesome out there. And it's got history, and I'd like to check it out. There's a lot of places that I'd like to go before I check out of this world. Always wanted to see Australia, England. Wouldn't mind seeing New England in the fall when the leaves are falling up there. I imagine that's really beautiful. There's some places I don't really care if I ever go to, and I won't offend anybody by naming them. So every place, I suppose, has its charms, except for a couple places I used to travel to. I never did find Houston to be likable. Too hot, too humid, too big. Yeah, I say big now compared to Phoenix. Phoenix is getting pretty large. I made a trek yesterday for a haircut over to the west side of town, about 35 miles from my house, because my regular barber is over there, and I've been going to the guy since my hair was not gray, and so I made the trip over there yesterday. And it's amazing to me how the neighborhood that I grew up in looks so different. They have changed so many things, torn things down, built new things. Yeah, I realize that's the way of the world, but God, it's so different. I hardly recognize the streets that I grew up on. So I guess that's part of it. If you've been around long enough, you notice the changes. I like living in Mesa, Arizona. Even though it's not really a small town, it kind of has that feel to it. The downtown area is still like a downtown, although a lot of the stores have become the usual downtown stuff, like like antique stores and things of that nature, but they still kind of look the same. And there's a music store that I go to. I do business with Milano's Music. It's been there forever. And so it's kind of cool downtown. There's a little brew pub there that you can stop and park on the street and have a microbrew if that's your thing. I personally prefer a light American beer, a mass-produced beer. You know, the craft brew people will disagree, but I find that stuff a little skunky and sticky and don't really care for it. So if anybody's got any suggestions of a microbrew that doesn't taste like they just dragged it through a skunk, I'd be willing to give that a shot. So you beer aficionados out there, let me know what's going on with some microbrews. I do like a light beer. I don't know if it's just because I could drink more of it, or I just like the taste of it. I do have to admit, and my waistline would agree, that I like beer. Beautiful morning. Be an awesome day. Desert's nice and green. We had just a taste of rain last week, just a taste. That we're coming into the season now where it's not going to rain for a while, probably until July, and I hope we have a monsoon season this year, because it was pretty bad last year and the year before. What happens when you don't get the monsoons is the temperatures, the highs just soar. And I mean, you can get temperatures in the 115 to 119 range. Oh, what do we got? Some haze up here. What's that? I wonder if there's a fire. That doesn't look good. Now I can smell it. Yep, there's a fire somewhere up here. Oh, that's depressing. I hope it's not a bad one. It's definitely smoky. Looks like Los Angeles smog. Must be down here in the river basin area, because it doesn't seem to be up in the higher hills. On a different subject, Those of you that have Street Bobs, lowriders, whatever, 2018 or newer, does anybody find the shift lever to be exceedingly long? I've got to reach for it, which just seems weird for me for mid controls to have to move your foot on the pegs to hit the shifter. I've been seeing like some aftermarket ones that have like a 3-position bolt mount for the shifter, and I'm thinking I'm going to have to get that. I mean, the shift lever is almost to the end of my boot when my feet are on the pegs, and I don't have small feet. I'm wearing size 11 boots, so I don't know. Let me know what you think. I may have to get one of those shift levers and move that thing back an inch or half inch or whatever, just enough to make it so not quite such a reach. And it's almost like having forward controls where you got to lift your foot off the peg. You know, the whole point to me of having mid controls is to have your controls right under you, and without having to think about it or move, you just do it. Woo, nice and cool out here today. I've got a chill. It's always a little cooler out here as you come back by the Verde River area. And folks that live out in Fountain Hills and out this way get to enjoy some of that. Anyway. Hey, it's Randy back here. Still on Sunday morning out for a ride. We're running up through the desert foothills now. This is a particularly scenic area right here. I love the way the rocks and the cactuses look here, silhouetted against one another. This road is nice and smooth. I wonder how much work it was stacking all those rocks. Oh, time and evolution. Still an awesome morning. Oh, it's like saguaros are blooming. That's cool. And flowers on top of them. Probably people don't know that cactuses get flowers on them. That's kind of interesting. If you don't live in this part of the world. The desert is not dead, my friends. The desert is alive and breathing. Saguaros are just so majestic. They're just like these green fingers reaching for the sky. Well, that sounds philosophical, doesn't it? Oh well. Never been mistaken for Socrates or Horatio or anybody, so that's my philosophy for the day. Get through this area. It was burned here before, and it's hard to see the damage right now. And it's still out there, but it's starting to recover, and that's nice. I love this big valley out here. As you go up over the hills and ride, it's just such an expanse. You know, it's hard to believe. If you lived in part of the world that is, let's call it settled, where everything, very little wilderness, everything is pretty much developed. I imagine you folks in Europe experience that a lot. Now, I've never been over there, so I'm sure there are some areas that are preserved that are at least a little bit wild. Maybe not, I don't know. But this is some wild country out here. There's a bunch of roads that go off into the distance. I mean, so many places to explore. I'm hoping to get out here on the dirt bike or the quad and hit some of these trails and see where they go. Probably just to the hills. There's bound to be something interesting out there. You run across a lot of wildlife when you're out in the desert, and some of it interesting and some of it a little not so interesting, like rattlesnakes, big lizards. The green area over there, there's a little spring back in there, and that's another place that I hope to explore here soon. Not on a 600-pound Harley Davidson though. Yeah, dirt bike this thing is not. Sure is a fun road bike though. Headed north on 87 towards Mount Ord and other mountains that I'm sure have names that I don't know the name of, but one of these days I'm going to sit down and study a map and become the tour guide out here. Do you know the Mount Ord is the tall mountain with the fire control observation towers on it? That one did burn pretty heavily. That had pine trees on the sides and on the sides of the mountain, and that burned very, very badly. That whole mountain side was very very damaged by the fires. When I was trail riding last weekend, the fire burned close to the road, probably within half a mile, and then other than that there was no damage, so that's good, I suppose. I mean, I hate to see any damage, but I guess it's good that it didn't burn way back in there. Apparently there was a fire yesterday down around the Verde River, but I guess it's out, or it's controlled, or whatever they call it there. The air is crystal clear now, no smoke. Well, in the interest of keeping this video not to be overwhelmingly long this week, I'm going to sign off. This is Randy T-Bird out here in beautiful Sonoran Desert, Arizona, and I appreciate you subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Like my videos. Feel free to comment. Be nice. You know, I don't mind. I don't mind some criticism, but if you're going to be a troll, don't bother, because you will be removed. Now, I've had a couple of those last week, and I don't understand why people feel it is their duty to bag on you. But, you know, all that said, my subscribers as a whole are wonderful people and have taken their time and to watch my videos and to like what I do, and I appreciate that greatly. This is Randy T-Bird out in Arizona, and we'll talk to you again.